Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to this hallowed day that is Grizzlies Media Day. We finally get to hear from Zach Kleiman, Tumasi Salo, most all, if not all, of the players today, and we are live alongside Zach Kleiman. So I hope y'all have him up in one window and us in the other as we listen to what's going on. He is currently talking, and we're going to be breaking everything down as it comes through, along with addressing college football. But before we get to all that, I got my guy Drew Gann, a.k.a. Uncle Buck, rocking the Ole Miss Rebs today after a very impressive win on Saturday, which we will talk about here in a little bit. But Uncle Buck, how are you on this glorious Monday?
That is just the football gods showering their love upon me right now. So I'm great. I had a great weekend. It was capped off by the Rebs. We're going to keep Best in Beef not sports related like we do. I've got a lot to talk about. I'm excited. Grizzlies Media Day is the kickoff, and we have lots of questions. Yeah, there's a long break. The NBA does an incredible job of making this a 12-month sport. You know, right after the finals, you've got the lottery and then the draft and then summer league and free agency, and then just right around the corner after all that is Grizzly stuff. But you just don't hear a lot from the general manager. And with some injury stuff we're going to talk about in a little bit that dropped on Friday afternoon, and the Jemai Meshack stuff, there's things that I want to hear Zach Kleiman address today. And we're going to get all into it. I'm stoked. But before we do that, Rusty, we haven't talked this weekend. We're best friends for over a decade, and it's Monday, which means it's our Best in Beef time. So, Monday episode. We start everything off with just recapping because we're friends. Sports are important, but not as important as I am to you. So we do everybody a favor and we boil it down to 2 points. Recapping our weekend to 2 bullet points. Our best thing that happened to us this weekend and our biggest beef of the weekend. We have a sponsor. Give us a sponsor and then tell us your best thing of the weekend.
Yeah, so we are brought to you by Donna's Italian Beef. Best in Beef brought to you by Donna's Italian Beef. 509 Constitution Drive in Iuka, Mississippi. The best spot for a sack lunch, hot breakfast on your way to Pickwick. Go see Jim and the gang there at Donna's Italian Beef for a tenderloin biscuit, chocolate gravy and biscuits. Go buy lunch, get a burger. Jim's got a special burger of the day. He also sells slug burgers. Y'all go check him out. 509 Constitution Drive. 7 to 3 Monday through Friday, 7 to 11 on Saturdays. You're home for the best slug burger in Northeast Mississippi. If you know, you know. My weekend was great, man. It's hard to really nail down one thing. It really was a good weekend. A lot of relaxing downtime, though Saturday was a bit busier. I'm just going to say my best of the week was Saturday, as a whole block.
Okay.
Because Saturday I had Wiffle Stock, which is a fun wiffle ball tournament that goes on every year. All the proceeds go to the Ronald McDonald House. And for those who don't know, Wayno, you're across the pond. The Ronald McDonald House is the free housing for the families of the children that are undergoing treatment and care at Le Bonheur, St. Jude, and in their care. So these houses are available to families for free, no charge. And fundraisers like what we did this weekend go to support that. So I'm proud to be a part of that every year. Listen, it was hot. It was fun. I got some sun on my neck, as you can see there. We had a great time.
Red.
I'm the embodiment of it today. We had a great time, played a ton of wiffle ball. It was awesome. Parlayed that into the college football Saturday show with Zach and Jared. Great turnout, great energy. There was a lot of Vols and Mississippi State fans there. So it was a fun energy hanging out with those guys. Got to have a couple of Oktoberfests by Grind City Brewing, one of their best brews. I love Oktoberfest beers. And I'm not just saying this because they're our sponsor, but I do like theirs an awful, awful lot. So it was fun to get one of those. Great time there on Saturday. And then Maggie and I went home and we went to her house and watched the end of some college football. It was awesome. Just a great day. Saturday was just really, really great. Sunday was even better because we didn't do nothing all day long, which was really nice. But Saturday was a great day, Drew.
Yeah. So I will say Saturday was a good day for me. It was extremely busy. We had a ball tournament. That's why I was not able to join you and Jared and Zach at Grind City Brewing. Although for the rest of our scheduled events at Grind City Brewing, there are no more ball tournaments. So I am looking forward to getting back out there. Glad to see that Jared was able to show up, had the nerve to show up, because I figured he'd be crawling around after that Arkansas debacle against Notre Dame.
That's exactly what I called it on the show. And my boy showed up wearing a Mississippi State shirt, hoodie shirt, to get ahead of the bet that is going to come to fruition in a few short weeks when we play the Hogs. And I reposted the BCM post about it and said, "Woo pig," more like "oof pig."
I don't know if you watched the Daily Grind on Friday, but I eviscerated Jaron for being of low moral character because he said in his closet he's got Arkansas, Mississippi State, and Tennessee gear, and I'm just like, my kids would never. I don't make bold declarations anymore as a parent. I learned that that's something I shouldn't do. I said I would never let my kid talk to me that way, and I would never let my kid stay up past. Those all come back to bite me. But what will not bite me was my kids having collegiate gear other than Ole Miss in their closet.
I could agree.
Low moral character.
There will be maroon and white and only maroon and white in any
such a sellout.
That I live in.
I mean, absolutely. You had the opportunity to put on Tennessee, which at least has been to a playoff and coming off of even if you were going to choose, you choose the wrong school. So, hey, my best of the week is my Sunday. If you're going to pick a Saturday, I'm going to pick a Sunday. We had a lazy Sunday, but lazy doesn't mean we laid on the couch. It meant like an at-home Sunday. We did church around here. Did not make the trek to Iuka for church because we were just gassed out. My wife is in the back half of her pregnancy, on the back nine of the pregnancy here.
Terminal stages.
Well, we're not in the terminal stages yet. Yeah. But it is to the point where like a Saturday at a baseball field in the 90 degrees cannot be followed up by a Sunday in which we don't sit down at all. So we had a great Sunday. We did church around here, and then we cleaned up our vehicles, got the pressure washer out, got the vehicles looking good. The best thing that I did, and I know this isn't genius level stuff, although if you want to call me a genius, you're not very wrong. Don't put myself like with Einstein or Edison or Jefferson, anybody like that, but right below them probably. I used the pressure washer to clean my shoes yesterday. Oh my goodness. I was wearing them and there was a little pain there, I'm not going to lie. But I cleaned my shoes with a pressure washer yesterday and the suckers look brand new. I was like, everybody bring me your shoes. We are washing these shoes and clothes. My son's baseball uniform, pressure washed. But I did end up with one small skinning of the leg. Got a little too cocky, got a little too close to the upper tongue area of the shoe. Skint it right off. So, it's good, though. Good day. What's your biggest beef?
Oh, man. I'm sitting here thinking about all the great things that happened this weekend. It's hard to think about a beef. Other than I tried to cut my finger off last night when I was doing some chopping. I got to bring, the knives I've been using, and I'm not throwing shade at anybody, but the knives are a little bit dull. Hadn't sharpened them, and they're older. When I bought my Blackstone grill like a month or so ago, it came with a brand new set of Blackstone knives that are amazing. And I'm used to being able to chop garlic and then just take my finger and take the garlic off the knife, right?
Right.
And instead of coming on the top, I just quickly did it like this on the bottom. And brother, I cut into the side of my finger here. And Maggie was watching from afar, and she goes,
"You idiot!"
I thought he's gonna cut his finger. And then as soon as you pulled your hand back, she goes, "You cut your finger." And I was like, "Yep." So I guess that's the worst thing. It didn't bleed very long. I was able to get it kind of calmed down, whatever, quickly. But honestly, man, it was a weekend that was much needed on a lot of fronts. I'll say that, and super grateful that to have that kind of weekend.
Yeah. My biggest beef of the weekend is the fact that we had ball tournaments during the best college football weekend. This is how my Saturday looked. I'm not up to date on the Mississippi State Tennessee game. When we get into some minutia on that, I'm going to let you have the floor. I may lob you some questions, and I'll be listening to it a lot for the first time. Same thing with any game that happened before 6:30. I did dive in and watch in real time Ohio's Penn State and Oregon, as well as Alabama, Georgia. I'm up to date on all those. But because I have such a desire to watch the Ole Miss game without spoilers in my own home where I can immerse myself in it, I turned my phone off or went borderline incognito during the Ole Miss LSU game because I wanted to watch it in my own home. It's such a big game, a game that I care so much about, that I was just like, I'm not going to have to do it. So I watched the Ole Miss game late, and it's just such a shame that in the moving weekend, and it did turn out to be quite the moving weekend, I was not able to be involved with my friends as I was watching the game like I desire. So
yeah,
that's my biggest.
That's the best part about weekends like that is you experience it in the group chat with your friends, with everybody. You're sending tweets, you're sending videos, you're sending funny jokes, and you like, it's great. I've been the same way. There's been several times where I've watched the Mississippi State game back later and not knowing what goes on, and that's awesome because you get to like truly feel through the game. But you do miss out on some of the fun and banter back and forth by being basically on Do Not Disturb all day, that you miss some of that banter. And Saturday was a day for some banter because it was a wild football weekend.
Yeah. Yep. So the banter is fun, but it's not as fun as being able to be immersed in my own team. And so I chose that this time. So you can attest. I sent you a message. I sent all my friends messages. I was like, I'm not watching the game. Please don't text me. So I missed you.
Listen. Yeah, definitely missed the banter, miss you being a part of it. But we've got 102 people in here watching already. Appreciate y'all being here. We know it's about the Grizzlies, and we're going to get to that on the other side of this commercial break. Zach Kleiman is going. He is doing his usual word salad, saying a whole bunch of words and not really saying anything. Shout out to Pete Pranigan, though, in the early part of that show. He did say his first question to Zach Kleiman would be, you said at the end of last year we weren't good enough. What did you do this summer that make you feel like we're good enough now? And I don't think anybody's asked that yet, but if we can get that passed into the FedEx Forum, would love for that question to be lobbed to Zach. But we're going to break it down after this quick commercial break. Y'all hang with us for 2.5 minutes. And on the other side, we're going to talk about Zach Kleiman and what he said so far at Media Day.
In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
I just want to say off top, like, every time a win like that happens at that place, it just feels like this momentous occasion for the city.
Yeah.
And like with most universities, it's not like that. If Wisconsin gets a big signature win, it's not like, oh, what a day for Madison. Alabama wins, what a day for Tuscaloosa. But like the way that our university is set up and the fan base is set up, it always feels just like this massive occasion for Memphis. It just felt like a celebration of Memphis like we haven't seen in a long time in that stadium.
It does. You do feel like you're jinxing it, and you don't want to speak too early, and it's 4 games into the season, so we can't get carried away. But any season that turns out to be, one for the record books or ends up being special and one that people talk about forever, much like that 2019 season, like games like this have to happen for it to be that season.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 10 a.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the $2 Sports Show. It is your Monday edition. It is Media Day edition of the show. I should have changed hats as we get into Grizzlies mode here, but I'm still excited. Where are my Rebels? So we're going to get into it. I've got the Twitter machine pulled up. We're going to dissect this as it comes for the next 45 minutes. But before we do, let me just ask you a question. You mentioned Zach Kleiman, word salad. You know, he comes from the Taylor Jenkins school of thought where I'm going to say a whole lot and say very little, and that seems to be the norm. Is there one thing you can hear today that will change your opinion about the Grizzlies, or what is one thing that you hope to hear today? You're muted.
That's a good question. I was still thinking. I was on mute still. That's a good question. I do think I want to know, like Pete's question really resonates with me. I want to know what Zach Kleiman did that makes him feel like this team is better than what it was last year. Because if you look at our opening day, what we're going to look like opening day, again, injuries are a big part of it, and that's been our MO for the last few years. That excuse can only go so far anymore. But we're injured again, right? Our front court is super, super thin. We're literally running out of front court of Jock Landale and PJ Hall. But I want to know what he thinks that they did this all season that makes us better now. We lost a ton of shooting in Desmond Bane. Does he feel like we're set from a shooting perspective with KCP, Jalen Wells, maybe Cedric Coward, GG filling that role? What does he feel like our rotation at the wing is going to look like, right? Like, what does he feel like how has he made us better at that wing spot to be more competitive next year? I just want to know what his thoughts behind these moves were, and if he felt like this offseason was a success to make us a better basketball team.
Okay. Well, let's just go from the start here. Sam Shoemaker, who's an intern for the Daily Memphian, had the first tweet that I saw. I'm going to pull this up here. Go ahead and put up the screen, the scene for the Twitter machine. This is from Sam Shoemaker. Let us know in the comments if you have any trouble reading this. I can adjust it a little bit, but I think you can read it. So, Kleiman, when asked about Ja Morant, which this is the hot point issue of this, the problem is that I just don't think that there's anything that I can hear at Media Day that'll change my opinion. I'm taking it with a grain of salt. But Zach Kleiman, when asked about Ja Morant, he's very encouraged by the offseason Ja's had and the trajectory he's on. And adding, we need Ja to be a consistent all-NBA player. That means, for starters, playing 65 games a year.
Yeah, I mean, that's the stop and start of this is how good do we think the Grizzlies are going to be? If you could go in a time machine and tell me how many games Ja Morant plays this season, don't tell me any other stats, don't tell me anything else, but fast forward to June of next year and you say, hey, or let me do this, Drew. We fast forward to June of next year. You don't know any stats, any awards, anything at all. But let's say we go in the future and say Ja Morant played in 71 games this year. What do you think an over-under win total would be for the Grizzlies, saying that Ja played 71 games? And then do the same as if Ja played 50 games.
Okay. This is interesting because I've said before that I think that the Grizzlies, and other health matters, but if Ja Morant plays, then they're going to win 70 to 75% of the games. We'll take the low end here. You said 71, so I'm just going to do my quick algebra here. If he plays 71 games, I think the Grizzlies win. Ooh, that seems bold. Okay, 50. That's what it says. Okay. So that's what my formula says, and I went the low end. I'm glad I went the low end there because I don't know, sound really stupid if I said the 75%. But
72 wins.
Yeah. So if Ja Morant plays 71 games and you have relative health from everybody else, you know, we're past the days of Jaren Jackson Jr. worrying about how many games he's going to play, even though he's starting the season with a turf toe injury. You've limited the number of stars that you are counting on, but you've bolstered the floor, I believe. You've bolstered the amount of people that you do trust. So I'm with you. I'm with Sam here. I'm with Zach Kleiman. You've got to have Ja play 70% of the games. And I even went as far as to not blame Taylor Jenkins as much as he probably should have been blamed because your superstar just wasn't playing basketball. So.
Yeah, and I mean, that's been the long and short of it as we take that down for now, let you scroll for some more. I think the long and short of it, it just always comes back to Ja Morant. I love Jaren Jackson. I glaze for Jaren Jackson more than just about anybody because I believe he is the best basketball player on this team, but this is still Ja Morant's team. He's our alpha. He's the superstar. He's the guy that's the highlight reel player that's going to go and be the man in order for us to get there. Jaren sets the table for Ja to close it out. Ja is the Mariano Rivera, if you will, right? Because Jaren's going to set the table. Ja's going to go shut the door on them. And if we can get Ja doing that in 70% of our games in this upcoming season, it would be an anomaly since he's only played 54% over the last 4 seasons. But if we can get him in that 65 to 70% playing regular season to playoffs, Drew, I like our chances. I like the roster that we have. I like some of the players that we have. There's still a lot of unknowns. Gigi Jackson, from all reports, Gigi, Jalen, and Cedric have been locked in together this summer, training together, playing a lot together, trying to become that next core for the Grizzlies as the next gen is starting to get on up into their prime years. But if we can get a locked-in Gigi, this team looks a lot different. If we can get a healthy Jaren for the entire season, this team is incredible. If Zach Edey can be unlocked and be the screen setter that he was under Tomas Isalo in those 15 games we saw at the end of the season, I think this season more than any, we kind of know what the Grizzlies are, but we truly don't know what the Grizzlies are because there are so many variables heading into this season. To me, it feels like more than some seasons past.
All right, I'll set up this next one then and pony off what you said. So, I believe that this team is constructed, given the health of Ja Morant, it's constructed with a higher floor and an undetermined ceiling. And your ceiling is going to be determined by Gigi and by Cedric Coward and those guys. So, let's go to the Twitter machine here. This was the next comment from Zach Kleiman talking about putting together the team. He says that as far as ball handling and guards, this is a shot at Desmond Bane, in my opinion. I think this is as much depth as we've had. And I typically agree. I agree on principle here. When we're talking about ball handlers last season, you depended a ton on Desmond Bane, and he regressed massively in regards to how well he handled the ball. You're adding in more faith in Scottie Pippen Jr. You're adding KCP, more minutes out of Jalen Wells. Cedric Coward as a wild card, but his college tape shows that he's a pretty good ball handler. Ja Morant, Ty Jerome. These are all guys that you feel very confident with the ball in their hands and in a setting the table kind of role.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we need with some of the playmakers that we have, because we do have some guys that are super athletic. We do have some guys that can be finishers. We have guys that Ja can set the table for that can take some of that pressure off of him so he can stay a little fresher heading into the fourth quarter. Again, I was super, super high on Gigi last year, infinitely high on Gigi. And I'm trying to slow my roll a bit this year, but I think that there is potential for a Gigi breakout season once again, but potential is a very scary word. But being able to rely on Ja and Scottie Pippen Jr. and Ty Jerome in more of that ball handling position, Drew, makes me feel better than if it was Desmond Bane. And that's no shade to Desmond. He was, shockingly in Taylor Jenkins' system, what it ended up being. We had a lot of players playing in roles that they weren't comfortable in. This positionless offense, this communist offense, as you called it, ended up being a major detriment to a lot of players. And Desmond Bane got the brunt of it because he's a running back trying to play quarterback, and that's just not what his skill set is.
I believe, first off, Ja Morant got the brunt of it, and that's what led to the fracture with him and Jenkins.
Sure. But in the eyes of fans is what I meant. Desmond Bane got the brunt of it because he was dribbling the ball off his foot a lot, because that's not what he was going to be.
Right.
But I think that with these ball handlers that can set the stage, and us just going back to like being a normal type of offense with this pick and roll with an elite point guard, we're going to be normal this year.
What's the meme? Can you please just be normal?
Yeah, and the kid's like, no. Yeah, exactly. That's what we've been the last few years. And we can be normal, and we can set the stage. And the guy that I'm most excited about, Drew, and they just showed him in the background. They've shown BK has been in the background. They've been showing a lot of guys kind of in the background of media day. Is KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I think he's set up for a massive bounce back year because last year he was relied on a bit too much by Orlando to kind of be the guy because of injuries, and we can relate to that. Desmond had to do the same as well. But I think that if we can get even if it's just a slight return to the progression, not a regression, but a progression to the mean for KCP, we're going to be a team that can score and score a lot.
Yeah, KCP was like, it was like Chad Morris trying to run Brett Bielema's offense at Arkansas.
Yeah,
It's like you
exactly.
just didn't fit. And so I
Yeah.
do believe in a bounce back KCP. And he's one of those guys that you hoped with the departure of Steven Adams that Ja in particular would become more of a vocal leader, but it turned into Desmond being that guy, and Ja being a little whiny. And I kind of hoped to pass the torch to Ja, but it didn't turn out to be that way, and that may just be Ja's personality is not meant to be the vocal leader. You brought in KCP, though, now, and so I'm hoping that he brings that leadership.
Looks like we have got Tomas Isolo up on the mic next. His first, if you go to Matt Infield on X, Matt Infield from, I think he's channel 5. Yeah, Action News 5. I wanted to get that right. Matt Infield, if you go to his, he's got Tomas Isolo sitting at the mic at the podium. The first quote coming out saying, we're going to be fast-paced, we're going to be organized, and giving maximum effort. Those are 3 things that will never go out of style.
Yeah,
if we can get that kind of effort out of the Grizzlies, we're going to be in great shape, Drew.
Yeah, I got a couple things I want to go back to as well. So I will got it up here. Those things are things that will never go out of style. This is true. And honestly, if you're a coach that's not saying a lot of this stuff, maybe not the fast-paced stuff, but the organized maximum effort. Like, if you're not saying that at media day, then you should not be coaching. Like, this is
Jared's point, and this was my point of bringing this up. I like the organized part because so much felt unorganized last year. There was also questions about giving maximum effort because how many times did we see last year where the guys like Ja Morant, knew by the 10, we'll say by the 8-minute mark of the first quarter, whether or not the Grizzlies were going to win because you knew what kind of effort we were going to get. And I think, I think this is a kind of a salve to the fans that we're going to be organized and we're going to give maximum effort.
And to me, the most unorganized or the root of the organization last year came from the GM's office. And so I'm hoping that Tomas coming in is now Zach Kleiman's view of the future as well, and there can be unity between the front office, the coaching staff, and then the players. I like fast pace. I like organization. We will see. Let's go back here. I'm just gonna scroll, and we're gonna give you just some thoughts real quick. I wanted to start right here. We talked about the guards. Ty Jerome turned down more money to come play in Memphis under Isolo's system. I think that was pretty obvious. We were shocked at the number in which he took to come play at Memphis.
Being steal.
Yeah, I believe he was runner-up for 6th man of the year. Cleveland was a really good offense. He had a breakout year. This is encouraging to me because I love Ty Jerome.
Yeah, agreed. And he's going to fit in this system of this high pick and roll so well as a kick-out option for Ja. Because that's what Ja's game is evolving into, right? Like Ja has said himself, he's no longer going to be that rim attacking guy. We're going to get some dunks here and there. But Ty Jerome can benefit from this pick and roll or this high pick from Edey, Ja driving kick to Ty Jerome in the corner or on the wing. Drew, like that will feed families. At the rate that we've seen Ty Jerome make threes, it's hard to keep up that kind of pace, sure. But even if he regresses a little bit, he's still going to be one of the elite three-point shooters in the NBA. And that's only going to help Ja Morant's longevity because he won't have to be such a rim attacker because Ty Jerome is going to be an elite shooter for this team.
Yeah. Let's talk injuries for just 1 second. There's a couple, and then one quote that could be misinterpreted with some grammar that I will make fun of in a minute. Brandon Clark, he went through his scope this morning. This news broke after our show on Friday. But Brandon Clark, it's a PCL that he's having surgery on. Is that correct? You're muted again.
No, I've drank some water and with the ice clanking around. No, the PCL he had injured. He never had surgery
last
on.
Season.
Right. But what he had was called synovitis, which is inflammation of the joint capsule inside the knee. It's just inflamed. They went in and did a general debridement. They did a general cleanup of the knee, and that's going to help cut down that inflammation and hopefully prevent it from coming back in the future.
Okay.
I think that there's still a world where this could come back and be a long-term issue, but the Grizzlies have said they expect him to make a full recovery, and that's what we're going to hope for.
All right. pair that with this tweet coming, an update. I'm going to find it real quick. That's why I took it off. These aren't coming in order. All right, so here's an update on Zach Edey. Relative to where things started, he's doing very well. Do I pay too much attention to the relative where things started part of this tweet?
I mean, I think what he's talking about here is meaning that it was such a bad ankle sprain, and it was so many bad ankle sprains. And I think that because of the laxity of the joint, I think what he's saying here is that the joint started off super lax, super loose, and likely to get hurt again. But in reality, he's doing a lot better, and the joint is going to be much more stable, is what I'm reading out of that, Drew.
Okay. And this is the last one, because this is something that will be addressed at Media Day. Is the big man problem. So we've got Jaron dealing with a turf toe, BC now with a cleanup procedure that was done today, and Zach Edey with the ankle issue, the repeated ankle issues, had surgery on that. I thought this was funny, and this is just my childish mind here, because this tweet made me think, thank God for punctuation. Because if you uncapitalize one of these, put it up on the screen here. If you you've got a meme that lives forever. Getting Jock was a high priority. You are muted again. Just quit hitting the button. Just quit hitting it.
No, what it is let me manage the scenes over here, because if we start messing with them too much,
okay.
too many hands in the pot, it takes us both off stage. But
okay.
But yes, this could end up being a tweet of all tweets if you miss a capitalization here.
Getting Jock is a high priority, and Wayno, it's the first thing that he's going to agree with Zach Kleiman on.
Yeah.
This was sacrificing Jay Huff as well. So they obviously prioritized Jock Landale, seeing what he was able to do in Houston, and comparing that to what Jay Huff offered us in this role. I'm a big fan of Jock Landale, and you were going to have to count on him exclusively at the 5 to start this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Our own Parrish Sharkey is at Media Day from Bluff City Media. If you're not following him on X, go give him a follow. It's Daone, DAONE_P Shark. Go give him a follow. He is there. He is live on scene, and he just tweeted out a video. I'm trying to get Drew to pull up, of Coach Isolo talking about his system and how it's going to be implemented here, and his expectations. He just released one. He had another one that just came out about his expectations for Zach Edey. Glad that Parrish is there covering this. He also tweeted out a video of Zach Kleiman talking about Edey or BC's recovery. Talked about Jaron being hopeful to return closer to the beginning of the regular season, which would be more on that 4-week instead of the 6-week mark. But pull up that Tumas video. Let's listen to Coach Tumas talk about Zach Edey, Drew. So make sure you're unmuted on your end when you hit play, and it'll play with the volume.
Let me know if you can hear it, Rusty.
The type of basketball that Zach was asked to play in college was very different from the pros, and he adjusted even within the season. He adjusted to multiple, different versions of himself, and I thought he did a great job. And generally bigs take longer to flourish, and he's already on a great growth trajectory. So really he just needs to keep doing the same things what he's been doing up until this point. He has great focus. He puts the team first, and he's looking to learn new things. And those are our expectations for every player, not just for him. The type of basketball that Zach.
Yeah, I will make comments to this for you, Will, because you are the Zach Edey guy. I don't think anybody at all, including myself, would argue that Zach Edey was misused. I think it's fair to say, I was not ever stumping for putting Zach Edey at the 3-point line. I thought it was stupid from the start. It just didn't make much sense. My issues with Edey is more defensive and how it does in playoffs. Zach Edey had to wore a lot of hats last year, and inexplicably so at times. And so I don't have
we have Brandon Clark shooting threes too. So I think like there's the source.
That was only for 2 games though. And Brandon, he didn't take a single three after like the 4th game of the year.
It was 2 games too many. And
it was.
There's a common denominator that has been dealt with.
So John Morant's on the podium now, but yeah, I have no issue with Edey. I have no issue with people saying that Edey's going to be good. I just have issue with taking it for granted. I think is where I land with it. So let's see what else we've got here that's come out. John Morant is now on the podium.
Go to Drew Hill. Go to Drew Hill's right now. He just tweeted out about 3 minutes ago something about like wrapping up right there. Tomas Isolo wrapped up his media session by comparing what the Grizzlies want to do to Sunday Night Football and the complexity offensive motion creates on decision making. As Philip says
he's
here,
getting help. He's getting PR help here.
Yeah. As Philip says here, hopefully our defense will be better than the Cowboys defense. That's a fact. But if we're talking about offensive motion, that was one of the things that I liked about what we did last year was all the motion creates some chaos. But at times that chaos was created for the Memphis Grizzlies offense. And so I think if we have a purpose with that motion, and again, it's high picks, it's getting Ja freed where he can make decisions in space, then I like what we're seeing here. The last thing that Tomas said and was talking about was the 2 hallmarks of this Grizzlies offense is going to be intensity and speed. And those are 2 things that we played with some last year right there. Speed and intensity are going to be the cornerstones of how we want to play. And if you don't have a plan, you're running around like a headless chicken. And that's exactly
I'm telling you,
what we were.
He is trying so hard to be Southern, isn't he? Like,
he's been in Memphis for a while, man. It's getting to him.
We've got Josh's comments on Isolo. We're going to get help right after this. I will say, though, that if he wants to see excellent offensive schemes, if he shouldn't be watching Packers and Cowboys, he should be watching the Ole Miss Rebels.
Nah, we ain't going all that far.
So, I mean, one of us beat a top 5 team this weekend. Y'all are lucky that Rusty is so lucky that media day is today. I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah. But John Morant is on stage right now. We will get you reactions and tweets.
It's real simple.
Out.
I've got it on the screen right now. 6 words as to what John Morant thinks about Tomas Isolo's system.
What is it? What is the Charles Barkley quote? 2 words: Steve Nash
and Chris Paul. Must see TV.
Absolutely. Listen, if Ja loves the system and it fits Ja, that's all we need. Because as Wayno said, headless chicken is a good shot at Jenkins last year because that's what we were. And if your superstar hates the system and your elite player hates the system, pardon my French, mama, but what the hell are we doing? Like, why are we doing that? And so, if this system fits him and this is what Ja is wanting and makes Ja a better player, Drew, I'm all in on Tomas Isolo.
Yeah. Ja is such a good quote. He is such a good quote. There's one that comes up right here. If you want to, I'll cue up the video. It is a video. No, it's not. It's not. This one's not a video. Ja on his trip to China. I don't only have motion where my feet at. It's global. Such a
global
good quote.
Superstar John Morant. I love it. That's right up there with the is that diamond chain real? Yeah, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah. All right. Let me make a take. Let me make a take here. And this is maybe irresponsible of me. I'm looking at a still shot picture. Maybe somebody in the comments can talk to me about Ja's demeanor. But you remember last media day, Happy Ja is a scary Ja. That's what the theme of I'll find that, Rusty. That's what the theme of last year's media day was Happy Ja, scary Ja. Happy Ja turned into scary, sad Ja very, very, very quickly into the season. Yeah. So I never want to take emotion into like what somebody's looking like or their disposition at media day, because most players, Tony Allen said on the Chris Vernon show last week that he hated media day, and I guarantee you almost all of these players hate media day. Mm-hmm. But are you looking into Ja's disposition at media day, given that last year he was so happy and it turned out so poorly? It was weird how happy he was.
No, honestly, I would rather see a focused Ja I'd rather see a John Morant that's like business. Yes, it was like a happy Ja. It's fun. I think that's great. I think having fun to media day, it's fine. That's what it's all about, is getting in front of the fans and being fun and having fun, whatever. I want to see a Ja that's about that business, that is ready to go hoop, go play 70% of the games. I don't care if that's a happy Ja, a focused Ja, a talkative Ja, a quiet Ja, a hungry Ja. I do not care. I want locked in John Morant. Give me that, and I don't care what it comes packaged as at media day. I really don't care. I just want to see John Morant focused on his health and on basketball and being ready to go hoop. Give me anything else, it doesn't matter.
I'm with you here. By bringing that up, I'm not saying that I am paying attention to it. It was just such an outlier and so strange and kind of out of Ja's personality last season to be the disposition that he had last season. So
it felt forced. It felt like he was playing a character, kind of playing in front of being the happy Ja, when I would rather see locked in John Morant, whatever that looks like. While you're looking for that infield tweet, which I want to address, is going to go to Wayno's point just a minute ago. Let's see where. He's talking about bringing up Jackson, son. I want to see him. Jalen Wells is cooking right now. Give credit where credit's due on Grind City Media's Media Day show coverage. Pull that up on another window and watch it, but stay tuned in with us. It's Gregory Hyde. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. And for the flowers, sir. But Jalen Wells is such a good asset for this team and this community with what he's doing for the community, for Memphis. There's going to be some really cool things coming out in the coming weeks about some initiatives and some charities he's going to be doing in here in Memphis for young kids and for the city and what he's doing to help. But seeing Jalen just be a pillar in this community is so good to see. He's going to fit right in with John, what he does for the community. Jaron, who's now on stage over on Grind City Media, but he's doing such good work for the community that it's fun to see. It's fun to see what he's going to do for Memphis. And so I do want to see Gigi Jack's son, because like the hardest picture that has come out so far from the Grizzlies is Gigi in the Memphis threads. Like, that's the hardest picture that's come out so far, showing Gigi and the weight he's put on. Did you find it, Drew?
No, it is not on his Twitter. I don't know if it was deleted, if it was in a thread or something, but I do have something pulled up from Matt Infield on Gigi Jackson. He said, Kleiman talked about Gigi Jackson's role. He said, obviously there was visible frustration at the end of the season. Credits Gigi and the staff for putting in a ton of work and giving him clear direction. There's so much there. And I think this goes to the point that Wayno says, and chicken with a head cut off, lack of organizational unity from the front office all the way down to the coaches to the players. My only hope going into the season, outside of John Morant playing basketball, is that there are roles. There's too many players in this team to play. I don't think you should make promise to minutes. But at least when you get the minutes that you get, you know what you're doing in those minutes.
Yeah, that's huge. Giving Gigi direction as a young player who struggles with maturity issues, if you try and have him drink from a fire hydrant, he's going to drown.
Yes.
If you can give him bite-sized pieces, Gigi is an elite athlete with an elite skill set that can be vital. The tweet that I wanted, it was from 11:16 this morning. Matt Infield said, Kleiman, this is going back to our conversation. Wayno, I hope you're listening, about Jock Landale. The two things that Jock Landale, he fits two buckets in this system. One, he's the type of big that fits well in Tomas Isolo's system. And the most important thing is he's the type of big that Ja Morant plays well with. And if we think about the big that Ja has played the best with, Drew, that's Steven Adams.
Right,
Jock
exactly.
Landale is a similar player. He's a rebounder. He's a rim protector. He's an enforcer. Not as thick and not as broad and maybe not as brawny as a Steven Adams, but he's a big body that can set picks and clear the paint for Ja to take flight. And so I think that gives me confidence. I don't know about you, but that gives me a ton of confidence in Jock Landale to start the season.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what he did. Houston did what Steven Adams did at Memphis, and then they got a backup that did the same thing. Jock Landale's a high motor guy. The only reason probably he's not a more household name is because he's bounced around a little bit, and he's always been a backup center. But he's a solid NBA center, kind of a throwback center. That's probably the reason why you don't know him as much. He's not, You know, he's not Joel Embiid getting up a lot of shots, or Jaren or Mobley, who is a high flyer. He's going to set good screen. He's going to get a lot of rebounds. I'm pretty stoked about it.
I didn't have shade being thrown at Desmond Bane on my bucket list or on my bingo card for today. But apparently we missed this. But Zach Kleiman on the Desmond Bane trade said if we were just trying to be a perennial low-end playoff team, something to that effect, I don't think we would have made that move. In reaching that decision, there was an honestly looking inward decision made there. That's interesting take on the Desmond Bane trade.
But listen, you follow the blueprint of the NBA champion. And what you saw in 3 of the final 4 teams in the NBA playoff semifinals and the NBA champion, it was more strength in numbers. It was lots of wings. It wasn't just one. There was not a single team that had a big 3. You know, Oklahoma City maybe, but their 3 were young and on rookie contracts outside of Shea. So if you want to make one exception, but they don't play like a big 3. It is a communal effort. It's lots of defensive flexibility, lots of big wings. Desmond Bane is not that. And so if you look at what worked last year in the playoffs, no one thought Indiana would be in the finals. They were a Halliburton blown Achilles away from winning the NBA finals. Absolutely. I will never not believe that.
Absolutely. That was a Indiana
They
Pacers
were on
championship.
fire in that game 6 in which Hallie blew his Achilles. So you look at that, and then you kind of try to build a team like that. That was a real eye-opening experience for the Memphis Grizzlies. It had to be, and I'm glad that they were willing to look at themselves critically and make a very hard decision. They did not view Desmond Bane as a liability until that. I believe that.
Yeah, and I don't know that they necessarily saw him as a liability, but they saw him as a avenue to make this team better in ways that would make us better than keeping Desmond Bane in that role. And I think that is what was huge in this decision, is not that Desmond Bane, because could we benefit from a 51% catch and shoot 3-point shooter?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But we get the opportunity to make this team better in the paint. And that goes to Jock Landale, who, as Jared points out, like if we can get 14.5 and 10 per 36 again this year from Jock Landale, then that ceiling, that indeterminate ceiling that you're talking about is just steadily climbing, especially given Zach Edey, who's now on stage. Zach Edey is in the building, and he says he's been limited as far as on-court strides because of the ankle surgery, but he's had a great summer in the weight room and feels much stronger. And that was one of the things that we talked about with Zach Edey, was he got rooted out of position a bit last year, seemed a little bit weak against some of these stronger bigs. Being in the weight room, and as you and I said, he needed to go on a Memphis eating tour. I think that's what's going to help him be better.
Listen, there's only one thing that I wanted Zach Edey to do. All right. So people who spend a lot of time in the weight room, I think calloused hands, beefy fingers. No, I need hand plyometrics from Zach Edey. I need Jugs Machine. Yeah. He hasn't mentioned Jugs Machine, so I'm going to stay on this side for right now. But Buddy's going to have to catch the basketball.
I don't need him coming out here looking like the Big Show from WWE, but I just need him to look
the Big Show.
Which he looks athletic here. And I think that seeing that translate into athleticism is going to be huge. Y'all, thank y'all for hanging with us. The comments are popping off. Jared, Wayno, Mr. Gregory Hyde, we appreciate you being here. We are not at Media Day. We're doing this from the comfort of our own homes, hanging out with you fine people. And so that's what you get from us. We get tweets. You get reaction to what's coming out. We don't get the privied access to the players, but y'all going to get the $2 bumbling opinions on them. So if y'all are here, hit the thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe to Bluff City Media. We're going to be your premier destination for Grizzlies coverage this fall. Big things coming for the network, Drew. And turn those notifications on while you're here.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody being here. Edie needs to get Alex Guerrero. Are you familiar or remember Alex Guerrero?
Absolutely.
Brady, the core of the TB12, where it was all about pliability, pliability from Alex Guerrero. This one's cool. So we all love the Jaw threes. shoe yet. He says his favorite colorway has not even been released yet, and we are really high on the Ja 3s. And so Matt says that's a big tease there. So Ja Morant does like to play the media well. He is good at teasing. So
my favorite ones are coming out on October the 11th. That's the Halloween, the Zombie Ja, the Jurassic Park color scheme with the red, green, and yellow. Like those are just, but like they haven't missed yet, from the graffiti to the pink ones that Ronald Acuna and they wore in the WNBA, and like the ones that Ja's been seen in. Drew, did you see in the Memphis, like the throwback 25th anniversary announcement, that Ja had the colorways on that matched that teal just perfectly? It was the reverse scratch, essentially, Ja 3s. Did you see that little detail?
No,
I'll get that pulled up here in a second. Those iconic. Like they fit the teal scheme freaking beautifully, man. Beautifully.
all right, I want to make a big deal about something real quick. So you know that there's always like the group team picture, and then they always pick who. I think it's who they think going into the season the core is. Okay. You remember back when the Slam magazine came out with the Grizzlies the next Grizz Next Gen, it was Ja, Bane.
For my birthday, and it's I've got it in a frame back here.
Yeah. It is Ja. Well, no, I'm talking about the first one. It was Ja, Dylan, Desmond, and Jaren.
You got me that one.
Okay.
You got me that
Okay.
one.
Yeah, that's right. And then I got you the Jaren one too. That was kind of what I anticipate as them being the core. They just released kind of the handful picture, if you want to call it that. Like, we're going to pick these guys out from the full roster, and we're going to put those up. These are the 5 players that the Grizzlies selected. You see Jaren, Edie, KCP, Jalen, and Ja.
I love that.
That's interesting to me. KCP immediately coming in, and they're featuring him in this lineup as the old head, 2-time NBA champion, real role, and Jalen Wells, who we're high on, second-year player, but thought maybe a role may diminish a little bit with the addition of KCP, with the selection of Cedric Coward with the number 10 pick, trading away 2 first-round picks. He's not in it. Maybe it's a rookie treatment. Maybe not. I don't know. Do you think anything about this?
I think that this is going to be your starting lineup of the future. This is where we're heading. I think Cedric Coward can carve out a role in this. I think Gigi can carve out a role in this. But I think by when everybody's healthy, let's say January, February, everybody's healthy, everybody's clicking, this is going to be your starting lineup, because you've got playmaking in Ja and Jaren. You've got defensive prowess in Jalen and KCP. You've got rim protection in Zach Edey. You've got screen setting ability from Ja for Ja and Jaren in a pick and roll, Edey in a pick and roll. You've got some outside shooting in KCP. Like, I think this is what we're heading towards as our starting lineup, Drew, and I love it. Like, you've got that veteran leadership and presence and championship pedigree in KCP. Like, if this is our starting lineup we're rolling out when everybody's healthy, then I'm here for it.
You know what I think? I think KCP needs to put his legs together and get as much height on him in this picture as possible, because he's never looked small before.
No.
But putting him on the back line with Edie and Jaren is dirty business. They did him dirty on that one.
Hey, real quick, while we got this pulled up, I'm going to add this up here. See, Ja's got you can kind of see the background back there. He's got the 2 different color shoes on, but one of them is essentially the reverse scratch Ja 3 that just matches the colorway almost perfectly.
Yeah, and that's a mismatch shoe too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you see the one of them's the teal, one of them's the red. So
the red. Yeah, love that.
As for the starting lineup, that I asked if this meant anything to you, and you made the comment that you think this is a starting lineup, and I think I agree. I think that is what your starting lineup is going to be to start the season. Mm-hmm. I do not believe that if everything goes to plan, I believe that you will see Cedric Coward in that. If Cedric Coward is as good as what you think, you've got a lot invested in him. He's obviously the future. KCP is a now thing, and I do believe that if Cedric Coward shows what they believe Cedric Coward will be, then it would be undeniable that you just have to create a starting spot for him.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying that Jalen will be going to the bench or there's any obvious choice to go to the bench, but I do believe that Cedric Coward, if he performs as well as they hope, I mean, we're talking ceiling here, it will be undeniable that he's going to be in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a world that could happen. In the meantime, while he's still developing, I am going to lean a bit more onto Jalen just because he has that experience. I do want to talk about this while you're kind of perusing Twitter. Meshack has been the topic of conversation since yesterday's training camp roster was announced. I'm not going to sit here and begin to talk like I completely understand the CBA and contracts and how they work, right, because it is lawyer speak that will give lawyers headaches. Like it is a never-ending cycle. But I think the way they're handling it is they're posturing it to make sure we have the best chance at his full rights. Because I think if we did like an exhibition 10, then we would lose his rights and they'd be open to somebody poaching him with a contract. But I think we've done this before. Sane talked about this on Sunday. We've done this before with Andrew Harrison. We were able to kind of do some fancy footwork with him to get him to the G League, to keep his rights, to ultimately put him on a two-way. And I think that's what we're doing with Jahmai Meshack. I think that there's a contract there for him with the hustle. I think they're posturing it this way because all three of our two-way contracts are taken. Javon Small, PJ Hall, and OMP. They're all taken. I think once our front court gets healthy, I think we're going to lose PJ Hall. He'll either go back to the G League full-time or we'll rescind the two-way contract because it was only a 1-year two-way that he got. I think we did that to give us some depth in the front court to where then once we get healthy and get that back, I could see then Meshack moving to a 2-year two-way contract to be that third guy that can be that dog of the defensive stalwart that we need in some situations. But I'm not worried about it. Like a lot of people are panicking, hair on fire. Oh my goodness, what's going on with Meshack? Why are we doing some dirty? I don't think we are. Much like in Major League Baseball, you can, as long as it's a player in his rookie contract plays a certain amount in the minor league, then they get another year on their rookie deal. I think we're positioning ourselves here to make sure we capitalize on the length of time we have Jahmai Meshack's contract. These guys are a lot smarter than us armchair GMs who think we know everything. And like I'm one of them. Like we need to trade for Cam Johnson right now. Blah, blah, blah. I think that they're positioning themselves to keep that contract.
Yeah, one thing, and then we've got a video from Parrish of John Morant. We're going to put up in just a minute. I've got loaded up. About Meshack is I think that Kleiman had a purpose for picking him with the 58th being the last pick of the draft. His purpose was to select him with a draft pick so that you control his rights, but not rush him into anything. We as fans overreacted to Summer League, but Kleiman is sticking to his guns. And I think that's smart. Is that it's obvious Meshack is going to need some offensive help, some shooting work and stuff like that. The defense is there, the defense will play, but you do not want to double down on youth. And who is going to benefit this Grizzlies roster more? A guy that's a wing. We just talked about what worked in the playoffs last year. A guy like Olivier Maxence Prosper, who is a long, rangy wing that can defend a little with the upside. A guy like PJ Hall, who is a big, where we are massively injured right now. Mm-hmm. Or a rookie backup point guard of the future, potentially, like Javon Small. I don't think that you have any reason to put a guy that you have control of because you drafted him over any of those three players. Maybe it works out that way, but in time.
Yeah, it's going to be time. We're going to get there. Like Jared said here, you need front court depth right now. It's a non-story for now, and I think that's it. Now, if we're in February, March, and we see something like that, maybe something different, but right now, it's a non-story.
People overreact to Summer League all the time, and I think it's good that you're taking it in a measured kind of way.
Remind me, Drew, what is fan short for?
Fantastical. No, fanatic.
Fanatic, and that's where we're at. We are fanatics.
So let's pull up Parrish here.
Yeah.
Parrish Sharkey has a 20-second video here, and this is John Morant's comments on what he wants his legacy in Memphis to mean. Let me know if you can't hear it, Rusty.
Number one for me, my goal is, to win. So, Obviously, being a winner, bringing a championship here, but it's more than that for me. Off the court is probably the biggest thing. So being the best shot can be on and off the court, for the city.
I mean, you've got John third person again. He does love referring to himself in third person.
That he does.
Listen, not much there for me. You've obviously wants to bring a championship to Memphis. Check. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
And check for Memphis fans. It matters off the court stuff. So yeah.
So here's my thing. Ja wants to be known as a winner. We want that. We want Ja to be a winner. I think, and this goes back to our off-season argument that there's been within Busted BD. We've all seen it in the group chats and all that, of who is on the Memphis Grizzlies Mount Rushmore. I think if Ja's career ended today, right now, I think he is a fringe Mount Rushmore player because the potential and the expectations with Ja so far has outweighed the production. I think with the potential and things that are to come, and Ja Morant's he's clearly locked in. He wants to be a winner. He's going to be healthy. He's going to play. We're speaking that into existence. But Ja Morant would go down right now in the same vein to me as a Penny Hardaway, a Grant Hill, a Brandon Roy, a Tracy McGrady, that it's like, man, that guy was so talented, but what if he had stayed healthy? And so I think if Ja can give us a run of a few 2, 3, 4 seasons where he's healthy, and some of it is outside of his control. Like Pete Pranik has said in the pregame for GCM, 3 of his injuries this past year were because of somebody else, right? Right. Koloko from the Lakers, he got hurt by Daniel Tice, he got hurt by Lou Dort. 3 times he was hurt by somebody else outside of his control, right? And so not all this is on Ja, but I think some of it, maybe it is. Make sure you're hydrating, your nutrition, you're on point with some of that. But I think Ja can go down as the greatest Grizzly of all time by on-court production. But he's going to have to stay healthy, and he's going to have to get after it, and that video is a good start.
My take on Ja's legacy, it depends totally. We're talking about Penny Hardaway, all that kind of stuff. If Ja ends his career healthy and never plays for another team, then yes, he's probably on the Mount Rushmore, 2-time All-NBA, multiple-time All-Star, shoe, all that. And who's he knocking off, really? I mean, Mike Conley, the core 4, would, I would put him up there just for the viral nature, the superstar nature of him. But now, if he leaves, you're dead to me, forever.
I'm talking about the on-court production, on-court, yes, the 2-time All-Star is great.
I'll stand beside it because what other point guard are you going to put above him? Mike? The conductor? The guy who didn't really score? I mean, I love Mike Conley, but I'm taking Ja Morant.
But what has Mike Conley done that Ja Morant hasn't done? A Western Conference Finals.
Fair. But Mike Conley did not resonate out of the city of Memphis at all.
I'm talking about that's fine, but I'm talking about on-court production. Mike Conley led us to a Western Conference Finals. If Ja Morant leads us to a second round again, then we've been to the second round twice. Now we're talking about that.
That's fair.
Ja Morant so far has had one playoff series that was good, and then he got hurt. And so again, right now in my mind, the point is the sky's the limit.
The point is it's unproven. It's still TBD, and we're going into year 7 of Ja. Santi Aldama is on the podium right now. This is interesting because he was a restricted free agent. He said that he did not want to change anything. Why would you want to change something that's working? And so he did not entertain any offers, realistically, anyways, outside of Memphis, and just decided he wanted to stay. And that's two guys, 2 free agents, restricted and non-restricted, that just picked Memphis because of what Memphis has got going on.
Yeah, I love that because it is working. Contrary to what Wayno will have you believe in the comments, Santi Aldama is an abysmal defensive player, but he can be a asset offensively, shooting the basketball, hitting threes. Yeah, here we go. Exactly. Right on cue. Santi Aldama, very quick and decisive.
I was going there next.
One-on-one defense. He is a matador on defense, 100%. Shout out to his Spanish heritage. Santi Aldama is a matador at best on defense. But
I would say,
how many? This is my last thing. I'll shut up real quick. How many guys are 7 foot that you can rely on to shoot threes relatively consistently like Santi Aldama can, rebound like Santi Aldama can, and be that offensive weapon? Again, it's inconsistent. That's one of the things I want to see more of consistency. But like, he is a 3-point weapon and a rebounding machine when he's on.
Right. The only thing I would say about Santi, yes, the defense was bad. And to Wayno's point, Wayno is correct about he just was more frustrated about it than we were.
Sure.
You've got to be more consistent. You've got to do it at home and on the road against all teams. That's my thing. So that's my thoughts.
Santi Aldama is the weatherman of the Memphis Grizzlies because he can be right 60% of the time and still be gainfully employed.
That's fair. That's fair.
Currently, right
Scotty,
now on GCM, they've got Cedric Coward, and he's freaking crushing it, man. Like that, do you talk about a guy that's just like a quote machine? Like Cedric Coward's maturity, his prowess on the microphone, like he is really, really an impressive kid, an easy kid to root for because he's just so humble and so sharp and already saying the right things and feels like he is a part of Memphis. I want that kid to hit. I just want him to hit and be a contributing NBA player so bad.
His thing, this is funny. I'll get to this in just a second. My thing with Coward was always, like, I know we've only got 6 games of his last college season to work on, but if you just listen to him, man, like, he's got the size, he's got the build, but he's not, God, I'm so glad I'm forgetting his name, Hashim Thabit. Because if you talk to Hashim Thabit, you're like, this guy may be lazy. This guy may be a bum. You think Cedric Coward, when you talk to him, you think this guy, of any person I would like to bet on, will hit his ceiling. I mean, I'm excited to hear what he's got. Real quick, put this up, just up and down. It's funny to me. All-Star big man Anthony Davis will wear rec specs this year. All season, he is going to try to channel his Kareem Abdul-Jabbar /
Real quick, going back to the Grizzlies, I'm not going to name this Twitter user because we're not going to give negativity any kind of air on this show.
We can blast him. I can pull it up. We can blast him. Eviscerate
I don't want to
him.
do that. So Here's the thing. Sports are all about what ifs and maybes, right? How many guarantees are there in sports, right? Like, Pat Mahomes is going to make a crazy throw. That Anthony Davis is going to spend time on the IR. There are few guarantees in sports.
Right.
This tweet says a lot of maybes for the Grizzlies heading into this season, right? Maybe KCP ends up having a career resurgence. Maybe Jock Landale proves to be an effective fill-in for Edey. Maybe Ty Jerome replaces most of Bane's production. Maybe, and these all got asterisks around it. Maybe Jalen Wells makes a major leap. Maybe Cedric Coward is an impactful rookie. Okay, maybe John Morant stays healthy. Why don't you talk about that? Maybe Luka doesn't get fat before the season starts. There are so many maybes in sports. Forgive me, Drew, if I'm going to choose that maybe those things are going to happen and be positive about it heading into a season when there's still hope. Because if you're ever going to have hope about the Memphis Grizzlies, it is September 29th, 2025, before the games are actually played, before guys get out there and run up and down the floor. And so, I mean, like, I don't know why that tweet just, like, it irked me so bad with all these maybes. Brother, the Houston Rockets have just as many, if not more, maybes than we do now with Fred VanVleet going down and Kevin Durant. Is he going to fit? Like, every team has maybes. Why are you harping on ours so much just to be negative?
Yeah, I mean, the problem
Jared is a ball knower. Jared knows.
Yeah. If that's an NC tweet,
yeah, the guy's it's Nathan Chester
Okay.
on X. He's one of the more negative people I see talking about the Grizzlies. He's one of the few I haven't muted because, like, seeing the negativity there makes me appreciate.
Well, this is the
positive
problem.
Outlook I have.
This is the problem with him, or with that outlook, is that he's not wrong. But how are you going to frame this? How do you frame this? I would say to people who look at it that way, because there are unknowns. There's unknowns with every situation. But if you're going to choose to say, maybe Cedric Coward's a bust, maybe John Morant is a beta, maybe Zach Edey can't catch, maybe Jaren will never catch any rebounds, then why are you watching? Like, you're making the team and the players prove you wrong. You're wanting to be proved wrong. And if you are proved wrong, that means the team is better than what you think. Like, that's just such. if you are right, then this team sucks. And why are you even watching? Like,
So
what's the point?
It's like Wayno said in the group chat the other day. I sent a tweet from a certain section of the Grizzlies fans that cover the Grizzlies, and I use that term very, very loosely because nobody takes them serious. But he said, they don't even sound like they're Grizzly fans. And that's exactly what it is. Like, if you're hoping for negative, if you're rooting for negative, if you're looking for the negative in every positive or in every situation, you're looking for the negative, brother, you got a long or a short life because you're going to worry yourself into the grave. Like, sorry that I choose to see the positive, that I'm on the maybe. Yes, KCP is going to have a career resurgence. Yes, Jalen Wells is going to take a step. Yes, Ty Jerome is going to continue to shoot the ball at a high rate. Yes, these things are going to happen. That's part of me being a fan and being hopeful before the season starts.
But the thing is like, I try to be objective. I'm a fan.
Sure.
I'm not over here saying I'm a journalist and I can't pull for this team.
Sure.
I am a fan, and I tried to be objective, and I eviscerated John Morant more than I eviscerated Taylor Jenkins last year because John Morant refused to play basketball. The difference is there was like proof, like, oh, if John Morant plays, we are great. There is proof that there was multiple instances in which John Morant irked me to no end. What he is saying is going into this season, maybe he's looking at every 50-50 shot and saying, well, it could be awful. And I'm like, then don't watch. Like,
don't watch.
So
Don't watch.
you're either going to be wrong or you're going to be right and the Grizzlies suck. Like, what's the fun in that? Let's get off of that.
Yeah, so we got Scottie Pippen Jr. on the podium.
I've got a video.
Perfect. Because we got a video, and then after the video, we're going to pull up to Michael Cole because he pulls the quote out of there, and I hope it's in this video.
All right, this is about defensive competition in the backcourt.
With our defense a lot, this past few weeks with a little optional workouts, a little optional pickup has been super competitive. Multiple guys are picking up full. Last year it was like one or two guys like me, Jalen, that were picking up, but now we got Sed, we got Kenny, we got there's a bunch of guys that stepped up. So I feel like it's gonna help us a lot just because we have multiple options of different guys, different heights, different sizes that can pick up full and just disrupt teams a lot more.
All right, first, do not hurt yourself picking up full court. Okay. And second, Cedric Coward. That's who he brought up. So you can elaborate past this.
So DeMichael Cole tweeted out the quote. I feel like Cedric, he elaborated on it a bit more outside of the video. Scottie Pippen Jr., I feel like Cedric Coward can guard every position on the court. SPJ said that Cedric moves like a point guard defensively. Drew, here's the thing. If that's the case, and you can throw out Cedric and Jalen and KCP as defenders at different points, maybe all together, maybe in pieces, like, what do we need alongside Ja? That was the one problem with the Ja and Desmond Bane pairing, is for a while, neither of them played defense. Now, Desmond especially, and Ja too to a degree, but Desmond got a lot better defensively. But having those two guys, and then if Santi was on the wing, brother, you had no defensive-minded players in the backcourt whatsoever. But now being able to throw out a Cedric Coward, a Jalen Wells, a KCP alongside, like, even if it's like Ja, Ty Jerome, KCP, you still got a guy who can defend their best player. Or if you got a Scottie Pippen Jr., Ty Jerome, and then a Cedric Coward or a Jalen Wells out there, like, there's still some defense that can slow down, and guys who can be point of attack defenders and can play a role offensively is what these teams are made of. You look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. How many guys did they have that were specials? They were defensive elite guys, but they had a role on offense. Corner three for Alex Caruso, Lou Dort being a big body that can drive. There are guys that can do things on either side of the court. And if Cedric's another one of those for us, Drew, we're in good shape.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at, if we frame this in two different mindsets, you frame this as you've got all the options there to be multiple. The other side of that coin, the miserable side of that coin, is no one's proven other than KCP. And that is true. That is true. But we're not looking at it that way because we believe in the players developing. The Grizzlies have shown that they can develop players every single year. I have no reason to believe Jalen Wells will not be better defensively, will not be a better offensive player with more tools in his bag. I have no reason to believe that Cedric Coward will not be really good and develop into a really good NBA player. And given that frame and mindset, maybe even great. KCP is what he is. He is a 3-point shooter, and he is an elite point of attack defender, a guy that can handle the other team's best player, even at his age. You can go on and on about this either way you want to look at it. I think that you've set this thing up to where you had one player away from being bad last year. You had to have Ja Morant. You still have to have Ja Morant, but there is a floor there. There is other options there to at least where you can play good defense.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think the drop-off now is not quite as steep when Ja Morant goes down because we've got guys that can fill those roles. We've got guys that can do things. We got guys that can step up, and that's no shade to Desmond Bane. That's more shade to Luke Kennard, Cardio Kennard, who I spoke about on a Hawks podcast, just about how grateful that I am he's no longer on our team because he was literally just big nothing burger outside of 4 games right before the trade deadline so that his bum you-know-what didn't get moved. But I feel like the depth that we have has lifted the floor of this team, and we still don't know what the ceiling is. And there's still so much more to come, Drew. We're just getting started. Like, today is media day. This is day 1 of the basketball season. Training camp starts officially tomorrow. Listen, if you're still here at the hour 16-minute mark, we appreciate y'all being here. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. If you're on X, come on over to YouTube. Hop in the comments. We got the usual suspects here, but come be a new face. Come hang and talk with us. I've already texted Drew. I said, Drew, I have got no heart out today. Mondays are my lighter days or work from home days to prep for the week. So this show can keep going. I got nothing to do. I told him the length of this show is on him and his day job today. So we're going to keep rolling as we talk. I see what you're scrolling through on your timeline over there. We're only talking about the Memphis Grizzlies currently right now. He's got Ole Miss and all this other.
I was just gonna pull up a tweet real quick. I mean,
I'm sure you were. You got to pull up.
I was going to surprise you.
No, I've seen it. I can see it down there.
I was just going to say breaking news and then, throw up a victory graphic for Ole Miss beating the number 4 team in the country.
Listen, we're going to talk college football heavily tomorrow. Y'all stay tuned tomorrow. We're going to react to the weekend, the AP poll, that sort of stuff. Wayno gets an entire show of basketball season for us here. So y'all come hang out as we're talking Grizzlies, Drew. It's nice to have the players back and talking positively about where we're heading for sure.
Yeah, we're going to go for maybe 15 minutes or so. Cam Spencer was just on. We won't put that up. I'll just say Cam Spencer, when talking about he got a big boy contract in this offseason, he said it, quote, "It definitely frees you up a bit. The organization has a belief in me, and my goal is to go out there and prove them right every single day." Talk about mindsets. If you could put the mindset of Cam Spencer in like a 6'8" dude, like he would be a 10-time All-Star. Like the dude's just a killer.
Absolutely.
Next on the mic was a guy we've talked about extensively so far today, Ty Jerome. They asked him why he signed with the Grizzlies virtually. Mainly just the basketball community. My game is kind of the one thing they were looking for this summer, and you always want to go with where you're wanted most.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. We knew that we created a void, and Zach Kleiman talked about that earlier. We created a void with moving off of Desmond Bane. It's a very obvious skill set that we needed there. And what does Ty Jerome do? He shoots the basketball from a long distance very, very well.
And he gets to the free throw line a lot.
A ton. And he's another ball handler who's not like Luke Kennard, to where like Luke Kennard, when he's a ball handler, is looking at one thing, handling the basketball. Ty Jerome, in my opinion, is a ball handler who looks to facilitate and set up other players as well as create shots. And with Luke Kennard, when he was in that ball handler role, you got none of that last year. And I think Ty Jerome is going to be a massive upgrade for us in that backup point guard, 2-guard role coming off the bench.
All right, 2 things. One, he's not going to start. You're not looking at him to start. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Great. He knows his role. He was, I think, runner-up or finished 3rd and 6th man of the year last year for Cleveland. And 2, when can you say what before Ty Jerome? Think back hard because I can't quite come up with an answer. A guy that's a certified bucket that comes off the bench. To me, it's always been a defensive guy, backup point guard, a bucket that you can go to off the bench.
There were moments where like
Lance Stevenson,
Courtney Lee had some games like that. But that's going way back where he could be a bucket off the bench for us. Lance Stevenson would be another one, but he was just an agent of chaos more than anything. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, having Ty Jerome in that role is going to be fantastic for us.
So, listen, we're kind of getting down to we've gotten past Jaw, Jaron, Edie, all the hot button issues. So, we've got a daily show, and so we are going to absolutely cover this from every angle. This is going to go for a long time. So, due to work obligations, this is recorded on a lunch break. We are just going to go ahead and end the show now. We appreciate everybody. We've done this for an hour and 20 minutes at this point. The comments are not slowing down. I was a little scared, to be honest, that the comment section wouldn't be here with us today. You know, you've got live coverage from FedEx Forum by a rival site, but I appreciate you guys more than anybody can ever, more than I can stress to you right now. Key Meeks, Wayno, Jared, Edward,
Gregory, everybody that's been here. Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Appreciate y'all, guys.
This is
so
huge.
While you're here, before we go out, you got a couple seconds here. Go give us a thumbs up on the YouTube video. Share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notifications. Anthony Saint is less than an hour away. We're 38 minutes away from Saint's coverage of Media Day, so we'll let him handle the rest of Media Day, the instant reaction portion of it. We'll come back with you tomorrow with all the other stuff.
Wall-to-wall coverage here on Bluff City Media. We carried you right up to the 12:30. Basically, we get you almost up to 12:30, give you 30 minutes to get your lunch heated up, take a bathroom break, which is one of the reasons that this show is coming to an end because I got to pee. He's got to go back to work. I already messaged him. I was like, hey, commercial, you want to fly solo? He's like, head to work. Got it. But, like, take your break, but stick around here. Sane's going to be super involved, super connected. You know he is the underground king hanging out with us here on Bluff City Media. He's going to get you right. Listen to him as we continue to cover. But thank y'all. It's still not the longest $2 sports show of all time. It's not the longest $2 sports show on Bluff City Media. We carried y'all through the trade deadline last year because it was on a show day. We did a 2.5-hour power show, and we are going to hang out with y'all again like that tomorrow at lunchtime. Not a 2.5-hour show, but we're going to deep dive more on the Media Day from the Grizzlies. We're going to cover college football as our favorite sport. We know that y'all tune into us for those takes, and we'll update you more on that. In the meantime, head on over to FanDuel. Get in your takes. Monday Night Football is coming up. I am going to throw this up. I'm not putting up the Ole Miss stuff that you got queued up down there smirking about, but I am going to throw this up. Y'all head over to FanDuel.com. Get your money right. Go hang out tonight. Monday Night Football doubleheader. An opportunity to make some money. You got the Jets at the Dolphins. Dolphins are 2.5-point home favorite. Anytime touchdown scores in that game. You got Devon Achane from the Dolphins at -120. Tyreek +128. Breece Hall +152. A pretty high on Garrett Wilson. I have him in fantasy football. He's having a great year. One of the few bright spots for the Jets. +164. That's pretty good. I'd also take him as a 2+ touchdown scorer because he has quickly become Justin Fields' favorite target. He's been huge for me in fantasy so far, Drew.
Yeah, listen, the fours are the theme of the weekend for me. Ole Miss is now number 4 in the country. My fantasy football teams went 4-0 this week, just dominant fashion.
3-1, baby. We're coming back.
Yeah, a dominant fashion from Uncle Buck's fantasy football teams this year, this week, and nothing is riding on Monday night. So I'm excited to look at this. I am starting Justin Fields in a league this week with him coming back off of the concussion. Don't need him, but would love to have a big game from him. I think he is such a high floor guy. If you can get rushing totals from Justin Fields tonight, that Dolphins defense is no good at all. And Bengals, Broncos.
I like the rushing here because Jake Browning's been a terrible, terrible quarterback for the Bengals so far. The Broncos run the football super well. I feel like they're giving away money with Chase Brown and J.K. Dobbins at 56.5 and 64.
I don't know, man.
Over, under.
I don't know. There's been no bigger disappointment, in my opinion, in fantasy than Chase Brown.
Sure.
I drafted him in 2 leagues. I did trade him away in 1 league, and I felt really bad about it until now. He's been really bad. So,
but maybe tonight's the night. You can get 79.5 as the total rushing receiving for him. Real quick, Vince Williams Jr. is on stage now talking. He's got his hair cut low. He looks like a villain. He's got his baggy T-shirt on. But listen, man, I hope that Vince bounces back. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow. Y'all go to FanDuel and get your money in. Get your bets on at FanDuel.com for Monday Night Football's doubleheader tonight. Drew, anything else before we get out of here for the day?
That's it. Data's got a pee-pee. So we're going to take a group bathroom break here. I appreciate everybody. For real, though. These big days are the most fun days that we do. Yeah. And so we're going to talk a lot of college football tomorrow. Catch up on the Hogs. We got Bobby Petrino rolling back into Fayetteville, Arkansas.
On his Harley. We're full circle. He's already fired the entire staff.
Number 4 ranked Ole Miss Rebels we got to talk about, and Mississippi State losing just an absolute nut kicker to Tennessee on Saturday night.
Like I told you yesterday on the phone, moral victory. I hate moral victories, but there were a lot of positives to take away for a program that's been down bad for the last 2 seasons. A lot of positives to take away from that Tennessee game, which we'll talk about tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time on Bluff City Media's YouTube channel. For Uncle Buck, I am Rusty Buckets here Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central. Y'all go be a friend to somebody who needs a friend. And, Drew, tell them why there are no refunds.
That's right, because with the $2, you always get what you pay for, and that is almost an hour and a half today. So enjoy. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.